Hello and welcome to week 9 of PA215. We are almost done. I am so excited for you. Mixing things up again this week. Lots of work to do, but good work. Things that will get you hired at the end of this. So, this week, week 9, your discussion question is on smurfing. There's an article that you can read about before we do the discussion, but it's actually talking about the term smurfing and people who are using Sudafed to make meth. And I just wanted to give you a personal story about when I was working in the pharmacy and people were buying Sudafed for meth. So I actually started in the pharmacy when this law took effect, where you had to sign a document saying that you were only buying the legal amount of Sudafed. It isn't over-the-counter the medication, but you have to now go to the pharmacy to buy it. So this happened while I was in the pharmacy, where it went from an over-the-counter medication where anyone could come in and buy boxes and boxes to then an over-the-counter medication, but behind the counter, where you then had to sign for it. So I know in other classes we've talked about this, where it's not really fair for people who have a cold who then have to go sign something to get this over-the-counter medication. People have really bent the boundaries and now are making meth from it, and has made it's a pretty dangerous thing. So, but anyway, my personal example is I worked at Osco Drug, and right across the street, actually right across the parking lot, was Walgreens Drug. And so people would park right in the middle. They would go over to Walgreens, they would get their 2 boxes of Sudafed, sign for it. Then they would come to Osco, get their 2 boxes of Sudafed and sign for it. So in a matter of 15 minutes, they have 4 boxes of Sudafed that then they can go make meth. And they don't have a computer system to enter their name in. So Missouri doesn't have a database where I say Joe Smo came in, got 2 boxes of Sudafed at my store on June 26th. And then Walgreens could do the same, and it would alert them. There's no database like that. So people know that, and it's only the officers who come in and check the record and say, oh, looks like Joe Smo has been here a couple of times. Let's make sure that we watch him. So I thought this was really concerning. And so I took it about myself to fill out a fax about Joe Smo and fax it to my local police department, telling them that he has been in twice this week for Sudafed, and I've seen him go across the parking lot and do it at Walgreens as well. And this gave them an anonymous tip on Joe Smo, and it is not safe for our community. And so I wanted to make a difference. And I'm not sure if they followed up with it ever, but as a pharmacy technician, I don't like drugs to be abused. And this was one of the things that I felt very passionate about. And so I continued to do that while I worked at Osco Drug. So that is my personal story about smurfing. Anyway, okay, so week 9, you also have an assignment due. This is your resume. Remember, we talked about this last week. It's your course project, but it's also your resume and cover letter to do this week for your assignment. You might have turned in a rough draft for me last week. Awesome. I might have gotten back to you. If you need to do that again this week before Sunday, no problem. Go ahead and send it to me and say, hey, will you just look this over? Do I need to make any changes? I don't have to grade it. It doesn't have to be your final grade for that. It does, however, need to be in by Sunday this week, because next week you have a mock interview that you will be doing on the phone with me or Career Services, and we are going to be using that cover letter and resume. You won't be able to do your mock interview unless you have that resume into me. There's no reason to do an interview. I won't be able to read off of that or anything like that. So not only will you be losing points on your course project, you'll also lose points on your mock interview assignment for next week. Get that done. So week 9, you also have time to job shadow. If you still want to job shadow, go ahead and do that. go into a pharmacy. This is extra credit points for you, and just ask them. Tell them who you are. You're a pharmacy technician student who is looking to job shadow. Could be a day, could be 4 hours, could be a week, whatever you want it to be. Make sure that you get some experience so that then we can also add it to your resume. If you have already job shadowed for this class, let's add it to your resume. That's always good to know. Not only are you looking to see what a pharmacy is about, you're also making connections. You're also networking. So make sure to put your best foot forward and show them who you are. All right, I think that I've covered everything, your discussion, your assignment. You also still do have a quiz, so make sure you do that this week. I hope you have a great week. If you have any questions, I know we're mixing some things up, ask me, reach out. Can't wait to talk to you. Bye-bye.